there's anything with the camera settings we need to do from here, Swamiji, from the Apple.
No, from the system preferences, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see. Spotlight, notification, trackpad, keyboard, printer, scanner. Where is the camera?
Let's see. Video or something.
CD,
Sound
DVD,
is here.
sound.
I wonder if anything with displays?
No, displays this. That's not it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see anything.
I don't either.
Trackpad, sound. Yeah. Input. Yeah, everything is okay from the sound, but I don't see anything for the camera.
I don't either, Swamiji. Okay.
Nice idea, but
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
Okay.
And here it says control 4 for camera. Control 4. Nothing is happening. Okay, we'll just here it can see this. It can see my desktop in the thing. It can see the desktop. That's all. It's not showing the camera is not coming out. That's okay. Let it be however it is. We will start, okay? ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 Yeah, audio is there, but Vivian, but video something we are not able to activate the camera on live stream even after trying. We are broadcasting from a new location, so that's why. So you can just take it on this today. Thankfully, most people know how to go between the things. आविसन्निहितम् गुहाचरन्नाम महत्पदम् अत्रैतत् समर्पितम् एजत्प्राणत् निमिषच्च यदेतज्जानथ यदेतज्जानथ सदसद्वरेण्यं परं विज्ञानाद्वरिष्ठं प्रजानां. Yeah, so you've seen this, the explanation. Now it is time to look at the bhashya. Where did we start?
Mahat Sarva, and then I put ... padam padyate.
Padyate, padam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So about Vijnanat Samlakshate Yadetad Avihi Brahma Sanhitam Guhacharam Nama. Yeah. Padam
Padam
Padyate Sarvena
padyate sarvena
Iti.
iti.
So Mahat Sarva Mahatvat. So it was said that this Avi means what? The light of consciousness, self shining light of consciousness here is called Avi, and this Avi is described here as Guhajaram, not anywhere else. Don't look for this Avi, somewhere else in the world. It is very much moving around in your buddhi, lighting up the buddhi as your buddhi. It is moving around, So this Guhacharam means moving around. Why is it moving around? Because it is bringing to light all your thoughts. Since thoughts are moving, it is also as though moving.
Mm.
And if you have no thoughts, it is as though stationary.
Mm.
And really speaking, it's neither moving nor stationary because it simply is. So moving is always in space, but space is yet to come. Space is because Avi is. Time is because Avi is. So there is really, when you say something is stationary, something is moving, it's from the standpoint of space and time.
Mm.
Space is not there because space and time is equal to movement, really.
Mm-hmm.
So there is neither space nor time because they are also as though products of Avi. So Avi cannot be in space and time. So is Avi outside space and time? No. Because that doesn't make any sense. So the only explanation is that which is Avi is the author of space and time. Space and time is Avi. Avi is not space, not time. So this is what we have to see. And here, and where it is Guhacharam, meaning it moves along with everything. All the upadhis, body itself is a upadhi, and what other upadhis are there? Mind is a upadhi, correct? Senses are upadhi, and speech is a upadhi. Sense organs are upadhis. Organs of actions are upadhis, so it moves along with the upadhis. So therefore, charam, because it makes everything move. Everything that moves, it makes it move. Everything that's not supposed to move, it doesn't make it move, and it is neither moving nor stationary. It simply is, and then what happens is that what happens after that? After that, something interesting happens. Here it says that it shines. Charati means it shines, it moves, and it brings to light everything, and it is called Avi. And what is this? Mahat Padam. Padyate iti Padam. Padyate means labhyate, that which is to be gained is called Padam. Padam means goal. What is the goal? What is the goal of life? You can say going to the next new movie that is being released today. That is the goal of life. Maybe that is the goal of some people's life, But really, whether people want to go to movie or mall or the goal of life is to sample the latest, the newest restaurant that has opened up, even though that seems to be the goal, that's not really the goal. The goal is something else, The goal is to stop that yearning, and all the ways in which I stop that yearning, causes more yearning because I choose finite methods. Yeah. I think by having this, I will be better, or by getting rid of something, I will be better. So this, small time pravritti nivritti, pursuits, avoiding something and going towards something is not conducive to life. Yeah, it's not helping in any way. It's just keeping the cycle going for a little while longer. It's like that, that what is that? That Ferris wheel. You go to a fair, there's this big Ferris wheel. and you sit there and feel a little sick in the stomach because it's gone so far. And then it comes down, and then you feel better again, and then it goes up again, and there is this churning sensation, you know. Even the people who like the thrills, all these things, you know, there is a little bit of a, you know, heart stopping sensation because it's gone up and down and up and down, and you just don't feel good, you know. And so this samsara is like this Ferris wheel. You know, you go keep on going round and round, and then, you know, and then in between there are distractions. And in India, the Ferris wheel is dangerous because the electricity goes when you're and there are no generators. Yeah, and even if there is a generator, there is a small generator that looks like your blender at home. That's not enough to power anything. Yeah. So then you're stuck there, hanging literally back and forth in your little cubicle, you know, and you know, sitting there until the electricity comes back, maybe an hour or two later. So you're just hanging there, you know. It is in Hindi, it is called latakna, hanging, literally suspended in mid-air. This is what samsara does. It makes you feel like you're going somewhere, but it's a wheel. It's a scary wheel that it is repeating itself, and you're tasting your lunch each time it goes around, you know. That's what it is doing. It's not fun. It's not a fun thing. It appears to be fun for two reasons. First of all, like the Ferris wheel, it's in a nice setting with lot of shops and games, and you know, here you hit the coconuts and try to get one prize, and there you do something else, and there is one man telling fortune, and there is some you know, lady doing magic. It seems like it's endlessly entertaining. So the setting is nice, and the second reason it appears to be good is because you think that everybody is going there. Yeah, everybody is going there. So you think I should also go there because everybody is going there. Because when you look at the other place, you know, which is very quiet, because there are choices. One is the Mela, the fair, you know, which is a very sordid affair, and then that's why it's called fair, you know, not so fair at all, and a very sad affair. So this Mela you can go to, or where else can you go to? You can go to the place next door, and what is happening next door? Nothing. It's very quiet. A few people in orange are moving around. That's all, you know, and you know, they seem to look happy, or at least quiet in themselves, but you know, there's not much happening. There's no fanfare, there is no drama, only Rama without the D, you know. So there is drama here and drama there, and of course everybody chooses drama because there's things happening. There's, you know, that gudu gudu, that rattle is there, music is there, there's a band playing on the stage, there are shops, you can buy some handicrafts and artifacts. There are, this side there are booths selling all kinds of food from the local restaurants, that too at a sale, you know. And then there are all these giant wheels and this kind of, you know, this, there is another ride which goes back and forth. See, all these rides, they don't go anywhere. Yeah. And the roller coaster also doesn't go anywhere, just goes up and down, and then you're back again in the same place where you got on the car. So samsara is like this fair, very, you know, colorful, but it is not the padam. Yeah, even for this is the ironic truth, and this is really the truth. The truth is that even for the person who is a samsari, the so-called self-styled samsari, the one who says there is nothing wrong with samsara, don't make me get out of it, I'm enjoying it, what's wrong with you? You know, I'm enjoying it, what is your problem? And so even for that person, you know, that his samsara is not the padam, it's not the goal. Why? Because of delusion. First of all, self-ignorance and self-delusion, they appear to be enjoying it, but you just spend 10 more minutes with them. So really, your life is good, yeah, it's fine. Really, how fine is it? Well, you know, then you just make them start talking about marriage or the lack thereof. Then all the truth will come out, you know. So to make them start talking about children, especially if they're in teenage, then all the situation will come out. Make them start talking about their job, then the truth will come out. So because the truth is that whatever anyone is doing is unsatisfying. Unsatisfying because it is not the padam. Yeah, it is not the padam at all. You think it is the padam, get on the Ferris wheel and then the electricity goes. Then you think it is the padam, get on the roller coaster and then come more confused than when you got on. You think it is the padam and go on the go round and keep going round and round. Everything goes round and round in this. And then you go to, and how many booths can you go to? You have only one stomach, you're not a cow. So there is what is that, one whole row of foods. You still have to choose only one kind of a cuisine. Oh, but which to choose, very confused, but also exciting. I want to make the right choice. Yesterday I had that, so that's not correct. And last month I had this, or oh, in my hometown I can't get this kind of cuisine, so maybe I should choose this. Then finally you choose this, then it's okay. I've had better. So, really speaking, this is what the whole thing is. It's just one is always this, when you think samsara is the padam, one is on the brink of what? Brink of some kind of brink of disappointment, constantly on the brink of disappointment. And this brink of disappointment here is talked about as, that padyate mahat padam, to avoid so many padams in life. Mahat padam, mahat means the most exalted goal, meaning the goal which is hiding behind all the other goals. What are the other goals? Everything that you see in this samsara fair, from the Ferris wheel to the go round, and to the different what is that, you throw a ring on something, whatever it is. And then there are all these stuffed toys and all these presents. But the game, in the way in which it is set up, it's impossible for the ring to land on that. Physically impossible. So the wins are just 1 in 1,000. In other words, you're just paying into this, and not getting anything back. So that is what is called local padam. Yeah. Local padam means around you. All the padams that can be objectified, it's just called padam, the goal. Because from one's standpoint of delusion, one thinks this alone is the goal. Nothing else is the goal. But this goal that you think is the goal is really a big hole. It's not the goal. That's why this avi is mahat padam. Why? Because behind this goal there is another goal that is hiding, which you cannot see because of lack of clarity, which you cannot see because you have chosen the wrong thing, which you cannot see because you are incapable of it, because of your own self-ignorance and delusion. What you really, and this avi is what you really want, what you already are. It is not sadhya vastu, it is siddha vastu. It is not something to be gained. It is already attained. Siddha means attained. It is already attained. It is not something to be gained. And so therefore, if it is already attained, why am I on this sorry go round? Because you need to get off. You need to understand that it is attained. So it is as though away from you for lack of a means of knowledge, lack of exposure to the Vedanta, means of knowledge, lack of teacher, lack of teaching, all these, this is why it is away from you, because you don't have the understanding. That's what it is. And so therefore, when you know this, you will understand something. You will understand that what you are actually seeking is this mahat padam. No, that you are telling me right now, but really I like that fair. You may say that's not what you want, and you may say you don't need this, but I want that. How are you, How come you are telling me that this is not? Who are you to tell me what I want? Don't I have the freedom to decide what I want? You are coming and telling me this is Mahat Padam. No, I am not telling. Upanishad is telling same thing. You are telling what you are just, what is that, regurgitating what the Upanishad is telling. So it's as good as you telling. So you are telling me, you are trying to decide my wants and saying this is the most exalted want. Don't want anything else except this. Who are you to tell me that? Yes, you may be the teacher, but that's what you want, because you this is what you want in life. But you can't impose that on me. I want other things. Here it says that Avi is the ultimate goal. When the Upanishad says something, we have to see how. We have to see why. We can't just dismiss it. No, but we can't accept it either. All right, don't. Don't accept it. I'm okay. As long as you don't dismiss it, that is fine. We are still in the same page. We are still in the same room. That's nice. So, what is this? What is this thing here? The thing here is to understand that this Avi is something that is ultimately desirable. And how is it? How can you say? How can the Upanishad say that it is ultimately desirable? It is ultimately desirable primarily because that hidden behind every want is the want for happiness, for shanti, peace of mind, for freedom from fear, for freedom from sorrow, for something that I want forever. Hidden behind every want are these wants. So nobody really wants the Ferris wheel, correct? What do you want? The thrill. What is this thrill? Some kind of a happiness, ananda. Tasting your lunch again, ananda. Yeah, repeatedly, because you taste it once when you eat it, and then you taste it once when it regurgitates, So this is what it is. So that is a certain kind of ananda for some people. Okay, then why do you go buy things? Ananda. There is some ananda in choosing and selecting and saying this is the best and this will match the, what is that called? The decor. Where? In my house. So there is an ananda in that. And there is an ananda in the bank account. Nobody ever sees the money. You just see the figures. you just see the figures online. Yeah. And you say, aha, this month I have done very well. I didn't go out to eat too many days, and I had food at home, and then I haven't so far bought anything. So that is very good. I'm doing very well. Look, it is rising. The bank just puts one number and you believe it. Okay? Yeah. Ananda. So this is called Bank Ananda, and because you're banking on it, that's why it's called bank. Yeah. It's not just the place where you bank your money. It's the place where you bank on that money to be happy. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And then so there is what? You go out, you have an outing with a family, Of course, the children were cranky and, the spouse was crankier. But at least we did something together. What's the use? Everybody was cranky. No, but at least we had some time, Ananda. So really speaking, what are you searching for? Ananda. You're not searching for that particular, cranky moment. You're not, you're really not in love with the bank. You're not going hugging the bank and giving it sweets and offering it flowers. You're not bringing the rose to the bank. You're not you're not in love with the bank. You're not in love with the money in the bank either. You're in love with what that money represents. You're in love with security. And what is the source of security? You. So you're in love with yourself. Really. And everything comes back. Sometimes if you are astute enough as an adhikari, you just make one U-turn. But what is the opposite of adhikari? Samsari. If you're a samsari, you go round and round and make several U-turns and still get lost. This is what the whole thing is. So then what else do you want? Oh, I just like people and I like all these people. People Ananda. I'm an extrovert And then I want to have gatherings in my house, and I want to throw parties, and then I want to go to other people's house and they should also throw parties for me. This is nice. No, what's wrong with that? Nothing is wrong, but what do you really want? you know do you really like all those people who came? No, actually, afterwards they get a backache because so many dishes to wash and so many things. And during the time it's fun, but it's a lot of problems planning. And then, inevitably, two or three people are not happy. Out of the 8, 10 who came, two or three people say, "Oh, I didn't like this," or "This was not a good date," or "I felt left out," or "Nobody talked to me." It's not easy to throw a good party. So 2, 3 people are felt very unhappy, and they went with a bad taste in the mouth, and because of which you have a bad taste in the mouth. "Oh, in my house this happened," whatever. Then you go to other people's houses first, provided they invite. Many times they don't invite. Then that's another problem. What's the problem? Nobody's inviting me. Nobody's inviting me. I'm only cooking for everyone. That's another problem. So really speaking, what are you gaining from this gathering? A feeling of what? Being needed in social circles. A feeling of being accepted. A feeling of being loved. Right? That's what I'm gaining in these circles. And acceptance is you already, are we? Love is you, are we? Happiness is you, are we? Are we there yet? That's what we have to see. So whatever you want is are we? So this is what I need to understand. And if I don't understand this, the costs of not understanding this puts me permanently in the Ferris wheel. The Ferris wheel is just like a glorified hamster. In the little cage, you watch the hamster and say, "Oh, such a foolish thing. It thinks it's going away somewhere. It's not going anywhere. I can see that it is confined to this glass cage." Yeah. Even Bhagavan is thinking that, looking at you. This fellow thinks he's going somewhere. He's going round and round. He's not doing anything for himself. And so many teachers came, so many chances to study the Upanishad came. Still he is going round and round. This is the difference between Padam and what? Mahat Padam. Padam is this local, Padam. Where you keep asking, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" Not knowing that "are we" is "are we there yet?" You are already there. That is what has to be understood properly. So Padam means the all the kinds of ends, including heaven, in this life and other lives. Because this is another problem. Oh, what I want is not here. Somebody says, "Oh, go to heaven, Jannat, go there." And then what do you do there? You just do bhajans and you sing some songs. Or then you have Urvashi and Rambha, these apsaras, these nymphs in heaven, come and entertain free, because your punya is your ticket. And you give, this many punya points at the door, depending on how skilled and accomplished the dancer is. So this many punya points for a new apsara, few. But then for somebody who has a name, Menaka, Rambha, Urvashi, many punya points, and you feel sad. Oh, I have to give this much punya points. And then after all the punya points are exhausted, you are unceremoniously booted out of heaven. Yeah. Back where? Here, same thing. You see, even the non-local padams, like afterlife, I want to go to Pitraloka, Brahmaloka, this loka, that loka. All the loka just makes you loco. That's what it is. Yeah, that's why it's called loka. This is a new derivation. That which makes you loco is loka. What is loco? Yeah. Here in the head, you're going round and round. So this Mahat Padam, we have to understand, it's not something outside of your range, your gamut of needs and wants. It is that which is the content, the real content of all your wants, that is Avi. What you really want is the forever. What you really want is Ananda. What you really want is security, Bhadrata. What you really want is auspiciousness. What you really want is to be free of pain and fear. And you're going about it like in a very circuitous way. And that path that you have chosen is not, even though it is got the safety of the majority, it is actually the most insecure path to safety. The only thing is other people are there. So what? I'm not the only one deluded. My neighbor is also deluded. This side neighbor is deluded. That one is neighbor is deluded. All my friends are deluded. My co-workers are deluded. Everybody is deluded. Thank God I'm not the only one. That's just, if there is a satisfaction, that's the only satisfaction. But how long can you have that satisfaction? Not for too long. So really speaking, this Avi has to be understood properly. It's not something outside of the gamut of your desires. It's the content and the truth of all the desires. And that's why it's called Mahat Padam. And to clarify this, it says, Atra etat samarpitam. So all the needs and wants and everything are connected to this. All your activities are connected to this alone. Samarpitam means they find refuge in this Avi. Because of the presence of Avi, you have all the needs and wants. That Avi itself, that needless, desireless Avi, is supporting all the needs and wants. And that needless, desireless Avi is supporting you. Is supporting all your upadhis, your mind, your body, your senses, your buddhi, your movement, your non-movement, everything this Avi itself is supporting. It's just a wonderful thing. Therefore, it is Mahat Padam, not only Mahat Padam, Atra etat samarpitam. And what does he say for that? Let us read further. Yeah, he says Padyate Sarvena. That's why he says, by all this is desired, this is the universal goal. Sarva Padartha Aspadatvat. Padartha means two meanings. Padartha first means thing. Aspada means the refuge. It is the refuge of all things, number one. And then the other meaning, Padartha, means the meaning of the words. It is where all the meanings of all the words, coalesce. They come together. All the meanings of all the words come together. This is what is called Padartha Aspadatvat. Katham tan Mahat Padam iti uchyate. He also asked the question, what for it is called Mahat Padam, the most exalted goal? Yataha Atra asmin brahmani etat sarvam samarpitam praveshitam rathanabhau iva araha. So he gives a wonderful example, which is also given in the Upanishads. He repeats that. He says, Yataha means Yasmat Karanat, because. First he asks the question, Katham tan Mahatpadam iti uchyate. Why is it called the most exalted goal? Yataha, because Atra means here. You don't understand the word here. Here is the word used by the Upanishad. What does here mean? Here means Asmin Brahmani. In this Avi, let's not forget what Avi is. Avi is Brahman. In this Avi, which is Brahman, Etat Sarvam means all your desires, all your abilities, all your talents, all your kartrutvam, bhoktritvam, your sorrow, your fear, your desire for Ananda, all this Samarpitam. Samarpitam here means Praveshitam. All have entered this Brahman, as it were. How? Or they are just connected to Brahman. They are non-separate from Brahman. How? Rathanabhau iva araha. So the connection between everything that you want and the hub of all that you want is like the spokes. All your desires are like the spokes, and this is the hub of the wheel that connects all the spokes together in an unspoken way. Yeah, itself does not, do anything. without doing anything. It is the ashraya, the truth and the content of all your abilities, your desires, your wants, and everything. And like it keeps everything together, because just like all the spokes of the wheel, you know, find their refuge in the hub. If the hub was not there, the spoke would not have any chance to speak. Even though it's called spoke, it is not, it won't have any chance to articulate itself. It will not have any role. And the role of the spoke is what? Coming from the hub, it is connecting to the rim of the wheel, correct? And the rim of the wheel allows motion. Does the hub move? No. It is the motionless hub that allows the motion to take place, as it were. So similarly, it is this Brahman alone, where all desires, where all abilities, where all, consumption, where all doership, everything finds its source. All the desires are resources. This is the source of every resource that you think you want, that you think you have. So this is what is, that's why it is called Mahatpadam. And then further he says, what does it say? Next one, Ejat. Ejat means chalat. Chalat means, Ejat means that which, Ejr, kampane. Kampane means that which wobbles, which shivers, trembles. But here, Ejat doesn't mean that which trembles. Ejat means that which moves. That's why he says, because the word Ejr has the meaning of kampanam. Kampanam means what? The shaking, shivering. Don't think of it as the original meaning. Here, Ejat means chalat. Chalat means walking. So even though it is stationary, it is as though walking. What is it walking in? Pakshyadi. So like in the birds, it is moving. It is moving in the birds. Which is moving in the birds? The avi that is stationary is moving in the birds. That avi that doesn't go anywhere, which simply is moving, is flying, flap, flap. And the small bird, like you see hummingbird, how many rotations of the wings it has to do in 1 second, and how much calories it must be burning. And here, people go to this, what is that, gym, and they feel like, I'm doing this exercise. So nothing compared to the hummingbird. That hummingbird you should see. So delicate. It's kind of, put its beak inside some fruit or something, and it has to balance and stand, and it is just rotating its wings. So amazing speed, and it's such a tiny little thing. So what is that that's making it rotate its wings like that? As long as it's sucking the sweet syrup, it is the avi. So avi is in birds, etc. It is moving, it is rotating, it is flying, it is going everywhere. Ejat. And then what else is it doing? Pranat. Pranat means it breathes. Praniti, it respires. So does Brahman breathe? No. But how does it breathe? Prana, panadi, manushya, pashwadi. So it breathes in the animals, it breathes in the human being. It is not just the breath, he says, but it's also the life force. Like whenever the food gets digested, whenever anything happens, it is all because of avi alone. So ejat, pranat, nimishat cha. Nimishat means what? We had seen many times. Nimishat. When this was explained also, it was told. Anybody knows what does nimishat mean? Nimishat, yeah, nimishat means blinking. Yeah, blinking. Nimishat cha. So there's the slow blink of the unnoticed blink of the alligator. Alligator means it never blinks. Yeah, that's why, because it is lying in wait for you. Yeah, or for something to move. Yeah, it is waiting for something that is ejati, something that is moving. It is it is waiting. Ejate, it is atmanepada, ejate. So it is waiting for something that is moving, and itself is unmoving. Even the eyelids don't blink. Finished, gone. Even the python is like that. Lazy looking eyes and kind of slightly glazed. It looks like it is, spaced out, but it is very much there. Python is never spaced out. Perhaps after eating, not before eating. Yeah. And then, I saw one on the road. I had gone to Australia and I was taking a walk. In Australia, all these things roam free. They are free citizens. Yeah, and it was not even a particularly rural area. And it was little wooded, but the path was there. So I was walking. And then suddenly, this is Bhagavan. It made me stop because it was underneath the leaves, there was this python which had taken on the akara of the leaves themselves. So it looked like dried leaves, but it was actually there. And then finally it showed itself. So I just stood at a respectful distance and admired it. And then I was intrigued. I said, it's this snake like this, fat, like this. And then like this. Big bump in the middle. It had eaten something. Yeah. It had just swallowed some huge thing and then again snake. Fat snake, fat just underneath where the esophagus should be, huge something, and then that's why they said, please, the people who were with me, the local people said, it's going to take time to move because it's carrying this thing which is probably fighting inside. I don't know what it had eaten, rabbit or something. It has swallowed it whole. Yeah, and you could see that moving also. And so it's going to take some time to cross the road. I said, let it take all its time, let it, go. So this, and then the python was non-blinking, completely still. And, that stillness, so the blinking and the non-blinking is kept here. So to show both, animals like alligator, python, etc. and also to show rocks, all these things. And also bacteria and things that don't have eyes. They are non-blinking. So that non-blinking is talked about, he's going to say, with the cha shabda. Cha shabda. Cha means nimishat cha. That cha should be understood as a nimishat. Nimishat cha. And then he's going to say that yat nimeshadi kriyavat nimeshadi kriyavat, meaning that which has the ability to blink. And then cha animishat, cha, animishat also should be included. Cha shabda samastam samasta etad atraiva brahmani samarpitam. Ashritam. Ashritam means it takes refuge in Brahman alone. Meaning then we have a problem because there's this whole jagat, with blinking and non-blinking things, with all kinds of things, moving and unmoving things. And then there is this whole jagat which is ashrita. And, ashrita means which is taken refuge in what? Brahman. So now we have a problem with ashraya and ashrita. We have a duality. What is the duality? There is the jagat which has taken refuge, and there is the refuge which is Brahman. Ashraya and ashrita. Oh, yes. So this is what the whole thing is. Ashraya and ashrita. There is this refuge and that which takes refuge. Well, there are two things now. Brahman has, as it were, like the spokes take refuge in the hub. So the Jagat has taken refuge in Brahman. So Brahman becomes a mega container which has, in which the Jagat has taken refuge. So now there are two things. Where is our non-duality? As though, really speaking, it's not the refuge. It is the refuge only from the standpoint of the Jagat. But the Jagat itself is a projection. So refuge like dream. It's like a dream-like situation. And what is the dream-like situation? The dream has taken refuge in the dreamer, but really speaking, there is no dream. The dream is taken refuge in the dreamer means the dreamer projects the dream, sustains the dream, the knowledge of the dreamer, the memory of the dreamer, the desire of the dreamer is the raw material, are the raw materials for the dream. So the dream is projected and then withdrawn and projected and then withdrawn. So too the Jagat is projected, the Jagat is as though, and the whole Ishvara's memory from the previous kalpas and Ishvara's knowledge is the Jagat. So the Jagat doesn't have an independent standing to take refuge in Brahman. So the word refuge must be looked at metaphorically. Okay. Now, एतद् यद् आस्पदं सर्वं जानथ हे शिष्याः अवगच्छत तद् आत्मभूतं भवतां सदसत् स्वरूपम्. So this is a, now Angiras was talking to Shaunaka, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now what is he doing? He is talking to all of us. He said, maybe other Shishyas came and sat down, we don't know, or maybe he decided to talk to us for posterity. So he says, Hey Shishyaha, plural. All of you students who are worthy of this knowledge. Hey, all of you, what do you need to do? You know, etad janatha. Etad means this. What is this? Aspadam, this truth. Aspadam means this refuge of the whole universe, this refuge of your body, mind, sense complex. Please, janatha, may all of you, please, all of you know. Tad atma bhutam bhavatam sadasat swarupam. Meaning, that is you. Tad atma bhutam. Know as what? Don't know it as something outside of you. That is you. Oh, I am the refuge of the Jagat. Exactly. Oh, why didn't you tell me before? I have been telling you. Oh, that means I didn't understand? Exactly. Even now I don't understand. That's okay. That's why there's another verse coming up. Another mantra is coming up. How can I be the refuge of the Jagat? Because I myself need refuge several times a day. You know, I take refuge in this, that and the other. How can I be the refuge? It's all the question of where the I is located. Yeah. If the I is located in all kinds of lokas and loco pursuits, yes, you will keep on needing refuge. Any small thing you will feel like you will have to be carried out in buckets because you will melt as a, in a puddle. That is not the thing. So the I has to be located firmly and permanently in the Avi. Avi is you. And that Avi is the place where everything takes refuge. Where everything, which is the source of all projections, which is an as though projection, the whole universe takes refuge as it were in Avi. And if that Avi is you, if you identify as Avi, then you can say, I am Jagat Karanam Brahma, I am Ishvara. You can say that. If you don't, understand or don't identify as Avi, then you will always be needing refuge, and so samsara becomes the refuge for people who cannot identify with Avi. And then what happens? So nimishatcha, we saw that. Yeah, then tad atma bhutam bhavatam sadasat swarupam. So bhavatam atma rupam, it is your collective you. It is all your truth. There is no I. There is no many I's. The I in you is the I in me, is the I in everyone. And that I, the collective you, please understand. So the collective you here is addressed to understand the singular I, which they all are. Bhavatam Swarupam. This is your nature. And what is that? Your nature, Sad and Asad, meaning that which has form. And here Sad, Asad, Asad doesn't mean Asad. Asad means without form. That which is with form, that which is without form, it is all you. And what is that you? Avi. You always come back to Avi. Otherwise it's not fun. Then it says, he said Sad Asad, he explained. Sad Asad, Asataha, Murta Murtayoho, Sthula Sukshmayoho, Tad Vyatirekena Abhavat. He says that what is this Sat Asat? Sat means with form Murtah, and Asat means without form Amurtah. Amurtah without form, Murtah with form. Or you can say Sthula. Sat means gross, and Asad means that which cannot be easily objectified. What is that? Sukshma. You can take it as Thula or Sukshma, uh, you can do that. And so therefore he describes Sad and Asad, and he says, because if all the Sukshma, Sthula, Murta, Amurta is this, what else is there? We have included everything in this Avi. Tad vyatirekena nasti kinchit, nothing other than this is there. So even if you don't want it to be, you are Avi, so sorry, but this is what you are. Tad vyatirekena abhavat, meaning other than this there is nothing there. It includes everything. It transcends everything. It is both immanent and transcendental. Right now we are looking at the transcendental part of it. So therefore there is nothing there. And there is nothing other than you. All there is you alone. And so therefore what? Therefore you please, now you have to choose this. Varenyam. After having all this, don't go back to the, don't go back to the, to the fair. Yeah, don't go back to the fair. This is a very nice song, Scarborough Fair, an old English song. Are you going to the Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme. I suppose that's what is, is being, it's really a nice song about samsara. Parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme. Things you can get which are slightly fragrant in samsara. Remember me to the one who is there. She once was a sweet love of mine. This is the one who is this is a baby Vedantin trying to, come to the correct path and missing the fair. And who is this she? Maya. Yeah. She once was a true love of mine, So this is, and all this parsley, sage, all the things you can buy at the market which are fragrant, which are, which are perishable, eminently perishable. And so remember me to that Maya, because now I'm going towards Avi. And the teacher is very strict, No chance to go shopping on College Avenue because so many classes, here we have opened shop for the classes. And so therefore, so the teacher is very strict. Too many classes are there. So bye fair. I have to set my affairs in order. I have to now move to this side. So I can't, do that. But you are still in samsara. You are going to the fair. Tell Maya I said hi. Tell samsara. Oh. Oh, parsley. Oh, sage. All of you. Yeah. Very famous ancient ballad. And you know why I think it is a treatise on Maya, because there are impossible tasks given. And if you look a little further in this song, tell her, this sweet love of mine, tell her to make me a cambric shirt. Make me a shirt. And this I love because, we always say shirt, fabric, we are using this metaphor. So what kind of a shirt should this Maya make you? This is the Vedantin interpretation of Scarborough Fair, okay? Yeah. What kind of a shirt should your sweet love make you? A seamless shirt. No stitches. Array, how to make shirt without stitches? Okay, some cloak. No stitches, no fabric. Make a shirt of no stitches, no fabric. This is what Maya is. This is what it is. And so really speaking, the desire for no fabric, no seams means what? Desire for the infinite, which she cannot do. That's what it is. Maya it also takes refuge in the infinite. Maya is not far from the infinite. Infinite is very far away from Maya. That's what it is. So therefore, atra etad samarpitam. So all affairs have to be in order. This is because it is Varenyam. This is the only thing to be chosen. Bye bye. Scarborough Fair. Why is it called Scarborough Fair? Because it has left a scar, a scar of longing, which I am trying to get rid of now that I have Samarpitam. I have dedicated my life to Vedanta. That's what the whole thing is. So Varenyam, Varaniyam. This only is to be chosen. Varaniyam. Very beautiful. No one else other than Shankara will say Varenyam is Varaniyam. Varenyam usually they say exalted, but here it is exalted because you have made that choice. It's the only choice to make. There's no other choice. Sadasad Varenyam. And then what? Varaniyam. Tadeva hi sarvasya nityatvat prarthaniyam. Sarvasya nityatvat. Because it is the eternity of everything. It is the infinity of everything. All the things that are finite are inhabited by infinity. How? Because that which is infinite is that presence which gives presence to everything that has name and form. So that which is finite is name and form alone. That the presence which inhabits the name and form cannot be destroyed. Nityatvat, because that infinite has its presence in the name and form. And because I don't know this, one falls in love with the name and form. The name and form perishes, one is bereft. But really speaking, what you are in love with is that presence. What is that? Bhavatam Swarupam. It is your nature. You are in really back to yourself. That's why everyone loves Vedanta. It's all about me. I am eternally and infinitely in love with me. And that me is not the body. Me is not the mind. That me is Avi. So that is the whole thing. So this is what, that is why this alone has to be chosen. And he says this beautifully. He says, Sarvasya Nityatvat, because it is the infinite truth of everything that is finite. And then Prarthaniyam, because you may be praying, prayerful, because that which is to be prayed for, that which is to be asked for. You may be praying for so many things, but what you are really praying is for Avi. Is that forever. You're praying that alone to be there. So then, Sarvasya Nityatvat Prarthaniyam. Param, the word Param here, Vyatirikta Vijnanat Prajanam iti Vyavahitena Sambandha. So here, if you look at the construction, it's a little funny construction in the verse. It says, Param Vijnanat Varishtham Prajanam. So that Prajanam is not connected to the Vijnanat Varishtham, that which is more exalted, that it is connected as though to Param. So there he says Param here means not Param as in Param Brahma. Param means separate. Exalted yet separate. Separate from what? Vijnanat Prajanam iti vyavahitena sambandha, because you have to see what is connected to Vijnanam. Vijnana here is not Brahma Jnanam. Vijnana here means that your everyday cognition. Your everyday cognition means what? Cognition of objects. So this is different. This Avi is different from the cognition of objects. Why? Because Bhavatam Swarupatvat. Because it is your own nature. And because of being your own nature, it is not an object, it is very much the subject. It is very much the subject. So that subject which cannot be objectified, therefore Prajanam, Praja here means the lay people. It is very different from the everyday knowledge of the lay people, because everybody in the world is used to subject-object difference and sits with that. I know this, I want this, I am the knower. That knower is kept going. I talked about this in a great extent last time. Here it knocks off the knower. This knowledge knocks off the knower, and so therefore it is Varenyam. It is to be chosen. It is the most exalted. It is the most worshipful knowledge, Prarthaniyam. And then it also says what? Laukika Vijnana Agocharam ityarthaha. Laukika Vijnana Agocharam. So that it is Agocharam means Vijnana here he is taking to be means of knowledge. So laukika vijnana agocharatvat means it is outside the scope of all the means of knowledge that are available to you. And all the means of knowledge that are available to you only objectify things, correct? Yeah. They only objectify the objects. They cannot objectify or make you understand the subject. So this knowledge is param. It is separate from that. Therefore it is varaniyam. Therefore it is to be chosen. And then what? Varishtham. Final. Varishtham, most exalted. Varatamam. Sarva padartheshu vareshu tadhi ekam brahma atishayena varam sarvadosharhitatvat. Sarvadosharhitatvat means because it is flawless and infallible. This is the most exalted Brahman, and the pursuit is the most exalted pursuit, because it is extremely worshipful, extremely adorable. It is you. You are the one you are the infallibility you seek. You are the most worshipful one. You are that Brahman which you really seek. And if you seek Brahman, you get everything else, because everything else is included in Brahman. But if you seek each thing discreetly, you don't get Brahman, because each thing that you seek discreetly is through your everyday means of knowledge, which can only objectify what? The objects, not the subject. So how to objectify the subject? You don't need to objectify the subject, because it is self-revealing. Yeah, it is Avi. And so therefore, this alone, is to be chosen. And it says it is flawless, it is infallible, dosharahitam, because everything else you pursue is fallible. It is finite. And finiteness is fallibility. And even, papa punya fallible, because it gives punarjanma and all these things. And then atishayena, because Brahman transcends all flaws, it is indeed the infallible. So next time, I think in January, the dates are put on the ashram website. We will have this class again. So we will say the closing prayer. I'll stop here and we can have some questions if there are any. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Any questions are there? Oh, wonderful. I'm so glad. Give them my love. Thank you. Om Namah Shivaya. I don't think there are any questions. 4 o'clock Pacific time and 5 o'clock Pacific time, Shvetashvatara and Kathopanishad will be there. Okay? And by that time I'll try to fix this. I think I can try something else. We'll try to fix live stream, otherwise come on this class only. Om Namah Shivaya. I think we have to turn this. How to stop this? Here we go. Yeah, it said perfect streaming. Yeah, do you want to end your broadcast? Yeah.